You're listening to Southeast Radio's Business Matters with Karl Fitzpatrick in association with Wexford Insurances. Challenge us at Wexford Insurances 0818 31 30 30.
My first guest this morning is Byrne of Byrne Car Sales, who this year is celebrating 25 years in business. Tell us about how long you've been involved in the motor trade.
I suppose it's actually 40 years since I started to work, believe it or not. I left school when I was 15 and started with my father. But I've been associated with Citroën since 1987, when we had a garage up in Ballycarney, North Wexford, where we started off with the old AX Citroën and the BX, and the model range wasn't quite as big as it was today. It was only a few cars. But over the years, I've moved to Wexford and we've built up a big customer base. Obviously, the range has improved. We now have 19 different models. We have a fantastic new DS range, which is a totally new car. Brand, build is, it's 3 models in the DS range. We have a DS3, DS4 and the DS5, which should create a bit of a stir. And then we have obviously the C4 Picassos, the 7-seater, which is a desired car by families. And we have obviously the C4 range, the C5 range. Fuel efficiency has been a big thing. Tax brackets, tax range. It's just generally you have to try and change it whatever you can every week. So
one of the big concerns regarding the purchase of cars over the last few years here in Ireland has been the availability of finance. Has that been resolved in the last year or two?
Well, finance is still an issue, but there's very few finance houses. As we know, GE has gone and Permanent TSB no longer do car finance. But we have a new company, First Auto, which is underwritten by Lloyds of the UK. They're a little more lenient in the bank. You don't have to give them your life story and your grandmother's bank accounts, but you can sort of give any sort of a decent job and you're getting a salary. They're quite good. But the deposits require, which is more, they only finance about 70% of the price of the product. But still, it's a finance availability. Credit union plays a big part. We find a lot of people have their own money, their own savings, obviously, and the clientele is inclined to be maybe a little older than it used to be. Younger people don't seem to have as much money as they had. And the demand for second-hand cars is good, especially 0, 8 and 9 low-emission cars go well. But yeah, finance has been a problem and still is a problem, so hopefully it'll get better.
Superstitious people have said that 13 is an unlucky number. The SIMI feel it's going to have a major impact on new car sales this year. What do you have to say about that?
Well, 13 wasn't the issue for changing the plates. We've always been lobbying, or the SIMI has been lobbying for 2 registrations every year, a bit like the UK market, where we have one in January and another one in August. So it just happened to coincide with 13. It came in. But 13, nobody's come to us and said we weren't buying a car because it's 2013. 131 seems to work okay. The market share is down at the moment slightly. We're a little bit ahead at the moment. But the year is going to won't be any better than last year as far as I can see right now. And hopefully we'll have a bit of an upsurge in the second half from July onwards.
You've teamed up with Wexford Chamber here this evening to hold a business after hours event. There's almost 100 people here in the showroom tonight, and I know that you've also invited down Frederick Solier, the CEO and Managing Director of Citroën Ireland, who I'd like to have a chat to now. Frederick, good evening.
Good evening, thank you very much.
Frederick, you've been appointed Managing Director of Citroën Ireland 2 years ago. What were your goals once you assumed that position?
Right. The goals, there's many goals. The first one is that Citroën has totally reviewed his lineup of product with a very qualitative design. As well, we are launching a new DS range and DS lineup, which is a more premium product that we would like to deploy all over Europe. So the purpose in Ireland is that we want to grow the market share of the brand. All the brand actually to 5% market share, and we are investing massively in Ireland. So we have created job in Dublin. We are investing a lot in our dealer network. It's more than 10 million that we will invest until 2016, and particularly there's one particular thing that we are looking at very, very carefully is the customer satisfaction. We want to be one of the best in 2016 in terms of customer satisfaction, and I'd like to thank all our dealer network and particularly JJ, and this is where we believe the growth will come. We want to make sure that our customers are fully satisfied. The product is actually absolutely unbelievable. There's a very good CO2 emission efficiency from the Citroën product, and this was the purpose for us of thinking that 5% definitely is what Citroën can do in this market. This is what we are doing. We are at 6.5% in Europe. So we want to grow, and we are investing in Ireland to achieve this goal.
There's a €10 million investment going into Ireland in relation to helping you achieve that 5%. How are you going to achieve that? Practically, how is it going to happen?
Oh, the first thing is that we've worked with the dealer network, and we work closely with them to try to understand a bit more the business and to make sure that our cars are promoted. So the first thing is to reorganize that, to do a bit of training, and to make sure that all the customer satisfaction is at the top. The next thing will be definitely to increase the awareness of the brand in the country, and this is the next step that we will achieve step by step until 2016.
And where is the influence coming from the DS design perspective?
Definitely from Paris. We thought about, so we are launching this DS range and lineup, and we thought about the fact that in Paris we are well known for our cuisine, our food, which is great, and we are well known for fashion, and we can do that, and there's a bit of French touch there, and this was the idea behind the Citroën DS range and lineup, to create a car with this touch from Paris, definitely, because we have some absolutely superb material in France, and we would like to promote that with a car which is not a Korean car, a Japanese car, a German car. It's a French car with a real touch from Paris, and this is the idea of the DS range and lineup that we are promoting.
You appointed Nick Monnier as the brand ambassador in Ireland recently. How did that come about?
That's great. The first thing I like to say is that I really like Pichet, and I like the quality of the food and the atmosphere. This is the two ingredients for me that are great in Pichet, and this is my favorite restaurant. Then we discussed with Nick, and I discovered that Nick is a Citroën enthusiast, and then we made the link with Nick, and it's an absolute pleasure to work with Nick as an ambassador for Citroën Motors Ireland.
You're listening to Southeast Radio's Business Matters with Karl Fitzpatrick in association with Wexford Insurances. Think Wexford Insurances for your business insurance.